we talked about Steam and we talked about PC and stuff like that. There is another platform out there that y'all may have heard of called itch.io, and it's an indie game platform where it only costs $10 to get on the platform, but it's a heavily curated system. So like they allow indie games on there, and some of them are that great, but they like do curate. Like if they think a game's stupid, they're just not going to put it on the store. And it also has a heavy community backing behind it. So like the things that are really good are going to get recommended higher than the other things. And there's I was looking at it earlier, and there's like some cool games on there. They don't look that great maybe, but they're play cool, or they have an interesting concept or whatever. So there's that stance that you can go with it. But I think just from a Steam standpoint, you just need to be more like because anybody can release a game and find an audience themselves. They can just host it on their website and say, hey, go download this game and do it. But by getting on Steam or something like that, there's this trust factor that comes into play that I know that if I download and buy a game on Steam, I'm going to get it from a reputable source, and that my money's going to be protected and I'm going to get something. But that mentality is kind of clouded now because of the fact that there is no curation on here.
Right.
So like, yeah, you know that they're not going to steal your money, but you may get a shitty game in return for that.
Right.
So I think the first step is just like increase the barrier to entry, because $100 isn't much. Like for somebody that's making a game, like you drop $100, no big deal. Increase that to say $500, and you cut out like probably 20 or 30% of the people. Because now $500, it's like starting a company. It requires at least $500 to register an LLC, so you can start, setting up your business. That's a barrier to entry that not everybody can go out and do. Now they could if they wanted to, but that's like, $500 you could buy a good decent TV for that, So like there's other things you could put that money towards that people spend time saving for. So you really have to push harder for it. So that could be one of the first steps. And then another thing I think that would be important is like having them pay to stay on there, because like your game's released, like that's what Apple does. It's like every year they charge you $100 to be on that platform. So rather than taking royalties or whatever, just like charge to like keep your program on the platform, because that means that you're going to commit to that game and keep it updated on whatever changes that come out. So like, you'll have, like say Windows 10 comes out and all of a sudden your game doesn't work. Well, that's a bad experience for a Steam user who goes and buys this game, downloads it, and finds out, okay, this doesn't work on my operating system. I just wasted $30.
Right.
Well, if they're doing a monthly fee, like you're going to be more inclined, because you're paying more as time goes on, to make sure that that's up to date so that you don't get booted off of there. So if that's going to happen, like Steam should boot you off, because that's, you're not keeping it up to date. So those are some things I think that would help to boost the, allow for better quality content, better curated content on Steam.
Right.
Because I agree with them. Like they don't have time to be, like monitoring this themselves. Like they can't dedicate like 20 people to like go through these thousands of games that come out every month. But if you make it harder for them to get there in the first place, you have a natural system that just works itself.
Right.
Head on over to thegamer.net for our full podcast episode for our weekly game impressions and top headlines of the week.
That's one of me doing an interview. Here's one of all of us. We'll make some cool things.
Brett's also right here.
Like this video, subscribe, keep up with all the latest video game news and opinions that you care about right here on The Inner Gamer.